Live is brought to you by your Southern California BMW Centers, exclusive partner of the SoCal BMW Crosstown Cup. For a limited time, get holiday credit of up to $3,500 on select models. Details at SoCalBMW.com. Jordan Moore, John Jackson, and live from Philadelphia, it's our guy Matt Barkley, who he once held all the records here at USC, but you know, you just hand the ball to another quarterback and they start taking him down, Matt. Your guy Cody Kessler, you trained him too well.
He's had a great year, and it's been fun to watch him progress, especially since last season, to where he is now, having, in my opinion, one of the most efficient seasons the quarterback's having right now. And, you know, it's been fun to still follow the Trojans week in and week out.
Hey, Matt, you were 3-1 against UCLA, obviously this being UCLA week. You know, what does this week mean to you as a, you know, looking back?
It's huge, and a lot of people, you know, alumni contribute the USC-Notre Dame rivalry to be the biggest one, which is right up there in my books. But for me, growing up in Southern California and knowing the rivalry between USC and UCLA, that's probably the biggest in my books. And because it has so much meaning, I've had a lot of memorable games against them, you know, my junior year especially. And it's a big game. It's, you know, it's a battle of Los Angeles, and it's bragging rights, and it's two great football teams playing each other. And this year, you know, will be just that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you which one stands out the most. We throw out the last one, of course, but those first three, they all had sort of something going for them. You just said the junior year especially, obviously, that was the 50-0 game. That had to be a lot of fun. But I'm wondering about the freshman year one. You were just a kid, and all of a sudden you got thrown into this thing where they said throw it deep and have some fun. I'm wondering what you thought when the play call came in and how that whole thing unfolded.
Yeah, I'll definitely never forget after that timeout by Newhouse, Bates, Jeremy Bates, the offensive coordinator at the time, and Pete Carroll just kind of looking at each other and nodding their heads like it's about to happen. And we called that shot to Damien. It was a perfect play action setup, and that was a great ending to that game for sure. And then the next year, my sophomore year, was interesting as well. I was coming off that high ankle sprain. So I couldn't really move around, but I mean we found a way to pull that one through in the Rose Bowl, and a lot of great games.
And then give me your insight or your reflection on that 50-0 game, or was it 50-0? Right?
50-0.
50-0 game.
Easiest score to remember.
You know, I don't remember a lot of scores for some reason. I'm just playing football. I remember specific plays and moments, but for some reason, scores I've never been able to remember. But one game does stand out in my mind, and pretty easy to remember, 50-0. And there wasn't a better ending to that year, considering we couldn't go to a bowl game in 2011, and we should have gone to the Pac-12 finals, and to be able to go on top like that, beating Oregon, and then coming in and whooping UCLA, that was a great ending to that junior year.
Yeah, you know what? I owe you dinner for that because you made me a lot of money back in those days.
There you go.
Is we always talk about this rivalry. I'm wondering how real it is between the players. You guys all know each other, and how much of it is fans. What was it like from a player's level, on the field? I mean, how much trash talking really is there, and is it just familiarity breeds contempt, knowing you know all those guys, and you know you're gonna have to see them for a whole year?
Well, yeah, because both schools recruit heavily from Southern California. A lot of these guys grew up playing each other in high school, and even before, know each other before high school. I mean, Andrew Abbott, who was ended up being a walk-on at UCLA, becoming a captain his last year at UCLA, was a fellow captain with me at Mater Dei and was one of my receivers and DBs during all my high school years, and we ended up going against each other for 2 or 3 years. And there's a lot of stories like that I know with guys on both teams, and I think it's really neat to see those guys who have grown up and know each other just put it all on the line to go, beat each other up in a sense. A lot of great stories about local kids like that.
Now, do you have any Bruins on your team on your team right now? Any side bets?
We're heavily favored Pac-12 players out here in Philadelphia. I will say that, but not one UCLA Bruin for whatever reason.
Very few of them make it to the pros.
You can debate why.
It's funny. We always say the U.S. Seahawks now because the Pete is up there and he's brought so many Trojans with him. But I think there's a big contingent of USC fans that are certainly rooting for the Eagles and your quarterback room alone. I mean, what is it like now? The guy that you took over for at USC is playing with you right now, and Mark Sanchez. What's that quarterback room like? What's it like being reunited with Mark and trying to push him for playing time?
Yeah, it's quite ironic actually because if you remember, I committed to USC to come in early in 2009, thinking Mark was going to be a senior quarterback, and I'd learn sit a year, maybe redshirt and learn behind him, and he ended up leaving abruptly after that Rose Bowl, and I got my shot obviously. So didn't think we'd ever cross paths again, but it's the NFL and anything can happen, and we really do have a great quarterback room. It's all Pac-12 actually, with our quarterback coach even played at Oregon, and we have Nick from Arizona obviously, and so we all get along, we all push each other. It's been great to learn from Mark's experience as a starter in the NFL, and Nick and I, we push each other, and had to kind of help Mark with the offense when he first got here. So we're all kind of teaching each other different things that we've learned along the way, and all trying to get better.
Matt, I ask you this every single time I interview you from this point forward. You're in Chip Kelly's offense. What do the cards mean? Give me something about the signals. Give me something.
We might have to put your face up there next time. I'll say that. Put some Trojan love up there.
There you go.
It's all deceptive, Chip's offense is about deception, and I feel like every coach in the NFL tries to incorporate that somehow, and we're trying to just gain an edge any way we can, and the cards work some games, sometimes they don't, as in last week. But we're always trying to gain an edge, get ahead of our opponent, and in any way we can.
Yeah, JJ's card will definitely be the decoy card. That's just the throwaway distraction.
That's the deep bomb for a touchdown card, I can tell you that.
There you go.
All right, Matt, well, we always appreciate checking in with you. Great to hear from you, and continued success there in Philadelphia and in the NFL. When we come back, we're going to take a quick detour from football, start talking some baseball. The head coach, Dan Hubbs, is in the house on Trojans Live.